Hello and welcome to our channel Bytecode. Today we are going to learn input and output in Python. So let's begin. The purpose of a computer is to process data and return results. It means that first of all we should provide data to the computer. The data given to the computer is called input. The results returned by the computer are called output. To provide input to a computer, Python provides some statements which are called input statements. Similarly, to display the output there are output statements available in Python. We should use some logic to convert the input into output. Python provides the print function to display output or results. We can use the print function with variables, strings and objects like lists, tuples and dictionaries. We can say that the print function is useless in programming, but it is actually the most widely used and powerful tool for debugging. Debugging refers to the act to find, remove and fix the errors and the mistakes within the code. If something is not right in the code, then we can use the print function to print what is happening in the code. Many times, we expect a certain value of a variable to be one thing, but we cannot see what our program sees. If we use the print function to print out the value of a variable, then we will see what we thought was not present in our program. We can use single quotes or double quotes, but make sure they are together. Run the command Python in the terminal, and it will open the Python console where you can check the output simultaneously. As we are talking about the print function, it would be interesting to understand concatenation. Concatenation means to combine things. In the print function we use the plus or symbol to combine the two or more strings, or we can use \. This character is known as the escape character. It will escape the characteristics of the character. Note, if we are using to combine the strings, then there will be a space between the two strings. If we are using the plus symbol, then there will be no space between the two words. Output statements. To display output or results, Python provides the print function. This function can be used in different formats which are discussed here. The print statement. When the print function is called simply, it will throw the cursor to the next line. It means that a blank line will be displayed. The print string statement. A string represents a group of characters. When a string is passed to the print function, the string is displayed as it is. In Python, the list is the combination of duplicate values with their distinct positions. All the values present in the list can be passed in the sequence at the time of the creation of the list. The print variable list statement. We can also display the values of variables using the print function. A list of variables can be supplied to the print function as shown here. Observe that the values in the output are separated by a space by default. To separate the output with comma, we should use sep attribute. September represents separator. The format is sep equals characters which are used to separate the value in the output. The print object statement. We can pass objects like lists, tuples or dictionaries to the print function to display the elements of those objects. The print string variable statement. The most common use of the print function is to use strings along with variables inside the print function. Python input function is used to take user input. By default, it returns the user input in form of a string. Syntax. Input prompt. Parameter. Prompt, a string, representing a default message, usually screen, before the input. However, it is optional to have a prompt message. Return, input returns a string object. Even if the inputted value is an integer, it converts it into a string. The input function indicates the user to enter the data on the console. Moreover, the program executes further only when the user has entered the data. This data can then be stored in a variable and can use it in the program wherever we need it. Note, input function always takes the input data as string. So if you are asking the user to enter age, and he enters age as 25, this will be considered a string. Additionally, You need to convert it to int before you take any action on it. How does a user know he has to enter a number or name or any other data? To tell what type of data user has to enter, we can pass a message to the input function that displays to the user. For example, your program needs the name of the user to print a welcome message. You can write the input statement as input enter your name. Converting one type of data to other kinds of data is known as typecasting. We are already familiar with such kind of conversions. What if we want to take an integer, or float as input? Is it possible in Python? The answer is no. But, we can use the typecasting, type conversion, using built-in data type functions. Input statements. To accept input from keyboard, Python provides the input function. This function takes a value from the keyboard and returns it as a string. For example, it is a better idea to display a message to the user so that the user understands what to enter. This can be done by writing message inside the input function. Once the value comes into the variable str, it can be converted into int or float, etc. We can use the int function before the input function to accept an integer from the keyboard. Similarly, to accept a float value from the keyboard, we can use the float function along with input function. Key takeaways. Input function takes the data from the console in the form of string. Moreover, we can pass a message to the input function that will appear to the user before giving the data input. For example, input enter a number. If we pass multiple arguments to the input function, then we will get the error. Input function returns the data in the string, str, format. Moreover, we can use the typecasting for type conversion. For example, number equals int input enter a number. Additionally, converting one type of data into other types of data is known as typecasting. We can use the functions int, str, and float for the typecasting. To conclude, we have completed learning the input/output/i/o functions in Python. Additionally, try to take different inputs using the input function and use the typecasting in practice. Remember, the more you practice, the more you will feel comfortable with Python code. In addition to the above, we have arithmetic operators plus and for integers. They have different meanings when you use it with string operands. For today. Hope you learned something new. And please comment in the comments section for any queries. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos. And don't forget to subscribe our channel Bytecode. Till then, take rest and have fun coding Python.